Dímelo, mis amigos. We are now 7-0 in our last 7 chairman package picks on my premium page. We had the Yankees money line yesterday, and they put up 9 big runs in a win against the Diamondbacks. And the good news is, I've got another chairman tier package play going off here today for Friday. That play's already posted and ready for access on my premium page. And if you become a chairman member here today, you're going to get access to that membership every single day for the next 30 days. And as an added bonus, you're also going to get access to all of my cheaper memberships during that time frame, absolutely free. Going to be included with your membership. And before we go ahead and move on, just want to take a quick time out and welcome you to my free pick video here today for Friday, April 4th, 2025. Happy Friday to you. The weekend's finally here. Congratulations, you made it. Of course, if you're joining me for the first time here today, my name is Brock Page. I've been dishing out free sports picks on YouTube since 2016. Coming up quickly on 10 years already. Man, does time fly. And of course, if you want to access all of my premium selections, you may want to think about signing up for my full access, all-inclusive Gold Club package. Gold Club members get access to every single premium selection of mine, every single package, every single day for the next 30 days. And of course, if you don't need access to all of my premium selections, but maybe you could use like one a day, you may want to think about joining my daily best play. It's just 6 cents a day for 30 days worth of access. I also have plenty of free content on my premium page as well. I currently have over 2,290 members who are signed up and active on that page right now. With that, folks, let's go ahead and dive into some free content. Going to start off in the NBA. Kings, Hornets, 7 o'clock Eastern tip-off. Sacramento's minus 10.5, totals 219. Now, the Kings are 4 games below 500, just 30-46 against the point spread this year. Sacramento's in the bottom 10 in points allowed, having a tough time guarding the 3-ball. They're allowing more 3-pointers a game than any other team. Opposing clubs are making nearly 40% of their long balls against them. And they're facing a Charlotte squad who covered recently against the likes of Indiana and New York. Actually had an outright win recently against Utah. When it comes to grabbing rebounds, the Hornets are 6th in the NBA in defensive boards per game. Mark Williams grabs double-digit rebounds a night, 15 points per contest. When it comes to the injury report, Curry and Gibson are day-to-day for Charlotte. Carter's questionable for Sacramento. The Kings, overs recently against Portland, Chicago, and Cleveland. 5 out of Charlotte's last 9 got over the line themselves. I like the Hornets plus 10.5, over 219. All right, next matchup, Jazz Pacers, 7 o'clock Eastern tip. Indiana's minus 15.5, totals 235 and a hook. The Pacers are 14 games over 500, 26-10 in the Gainbridge Fieldhouse. More recently, Indy got the W in 8 out of their last 10. They're actually one of the best field goal shooting teams in the league at the moment. The Pacers are in the top 3 in offensive field goal percentage. Tyrese Halliburton makes nearly 40% of his deep balls, 18 points a game for him. And Miles Turner, he's drilling 40% of his attempts from beyond the arc. They're facing a Utah team on the other side who took the loss in their last 7 straight, gave up a ton of points during that span. Utah's also allowing more points a game than any other team besides one, dead last in defensive turnovers. Now, injury-wise, Kessler's questionable, Williams, Markkanen, and Collins still banged up. Meanwhile, for the Pacers on the other side, Nesmith and Mathurin are questionable. Keep an eye on those guys. Both teams saw overs in 5 out of their last 9, respectively. I like the Pacers, minus 15.5, over 235 and a hook. Next game, Pistons, Raptors, 7:30 p.m. East. Detroit's minus 11, totals 228. Detroit's 8 games over 500 this year, 42-34 against the point spread. And more recently, Detroit got the W in 5 out of their last 8. They actually have 5 straight victories against the Raptors. And a lot of their success this season, well, it can be accredited to their defensive effort. Detroit's 6th in field goals allowed, top 5 in defensive boards. And they're taking on a bottom 10 point-producing team in the Raptors. Toronto's currently second to last in 3 balls made. They've really been a little threat shooting from downtown. Toronto's averaging only 11 three-pointers per contest. Second most blocked shots in the league. Now, Toronto saw unders recently against Charlotte, Brooklyn, and Washington. Detroit with unders recently against OKC, San Antonio, and New Orleans. I like the Pistons minus 11, under 228. Next game, Suns Celtics, 7:30 p.m. East. Boston's minus 15, totals 227.5. The Celtics are 56-20 on the year. Phoenix 6 games below 500. Now, the Suns also have a losing record against the point spread, just 12-26 on the road. And more recently, the Suns are on a 4-game skid. They rank 25th in offensive rebounding, really struggling underneath the basket. And they're taking on a Boston club who plays pretty tough on the defensive end of the floor. I think it goes overshadowed just by how many 3 balls they splash a game. Very productive on offense, but don't overlook their defensive play. The Celtics allow just 107 points a game. They're second in the association in defensive field goal percentage. Now, Horford, Holiday, and Porzingis are day-to-day for Boston. Durant and Beal banged up for Phoenix. The Suns saw unders recently against the Bucks, Raptors, and Lakers. Boston with unders recently against Memphis, Sacramento, and Utah. I like Boston minus 15, under 227.5. Next game, Thunder Rockets, 8 p.m. East. OKC's minus 6.5, totals 232. Thunder is 64-13 on the year, covering in over 71% of their games. They've been an absolute cash cow if you've been betting them. As a matter of fact, OKC covered in their last 10 straight. They haven't lost a game in a real long time. OKC is currently first in the league in defensive turnovers, first in field goals allowed. And they're taking on a Houston squad who isn't overly prolific on offense. They're the worst free throw shooting team in the game, bottom 10 in shooting from the field. When it comes to the point spread, the Rockets failed to cover in 7 out of their last 10. Houston saw unders recently against the Lakers, Hawks, and Heat. OKC games went 4-2 to the under in their last 6. I like Oklahoma City minus 6.5, under 232. Next matchup, Cavaliers, Spurs, 8 o'clock East. Cleveland's minus 14, totals 241. The Cavs are 61-15 on the year, covering in 61% of their games. San Antonio, 12 games under 500 themselves, losing record against the point spread. More recently, San Antonio dropped 5 out of their last 6. Having a tough time on the defensive end of the court. They're currently in the bottom 3 in defensive boards, bottom 3 in field goals allowed. And they're taking on a Cavaliers team who leads the league in scoring. Donovan Mitchell averages 24 points a game, 4 boards, 4 assists. And Darius Garland drills 40% of his 3 balls, 20 points a night for him. Wade and Jerome are banged up for Cleveland. Johnson, Vassell, Sohan, and Basie are questionable for the Spurs. Both teams with overs in 4 out of their last 5 outings, respectively. I like Cleveland minus 14, over 241. Next contest, Blazers, Bulls, 8 o'clock East. Chicago's minus 4, totals 240. Bulls games went 9-1 to the over in their last 10. Overs against Toronto, OKC, and Dallas. Chicago's allowing more field goals a game than any other team at the moment. Meanwhile, Portland on the other side, they're in the bottom 10 in defensive field goal percentage themselves. They tend to send a lot of shooters to the foul line. Now, Portland saw overs recently against Atlanta, Sacramento, and Cleveland. I like the over 240. All right, next matchup should be a good one. Nuggets, Warriors, 10 o'clock East. Golden State's -1, totals 234.5. The Warriors saw overs recently against Memphis, San Antonio, and Atlanta. They actually rebound well on offense. Top 5 in 3 balls made. Steph Curry knocks down 40% of his attempts from outside the perimeter. 24 points a night for him. And Jimmy Butler's averaging 17.5 points a game with the Warriors. 6 boards, 6 assists. They're facing a Denver squad who leads the league in field goals made. Nikola Jokic averages over 29.5 points a night, dozen boards, 10 assists for him. And Michael Porter Jr. is also knocking down 40% of his long balls, 18 points a night as well. Denver saw overs recently against Minnesota, Milwaukee, and Chicago. I like the over 234.5. Next contest, Pelicans, Lakers, 10:30 p.m. East. The Lakers are -13, totals 219. LA's got a winning record against the point spread this year. Covers recently against Houston, Memphis, and Indiana. Meanwhile, the Pelicans just 21-55 overall, 7-31 on the road. And more recently, the Pels took the loss in 7 out of their last 10. They're currently in the bottom 5 in points allowed. And they're facing a Laker team who does a nice job shooting from the field, nice job getting to the stripe. The Lakers are actually in the top 3 in free throws made per game. LA with overs recently against the Grizzlies, Pacers, and Magic. Pelicans with overs against Detroit and Minnesota twice. I like the Lakers -13, over 219. All right, next and final breakdown in the NBA. Mavericks, Clippers, 10:30 p.m. East. The Clippers are -9, totals 224. And even though the Clips are favored by nearly double digits, they certainly have struggled with turnovers on offense. They're also averaging just a dozen 3 balls a game, bottom 5 in the league in that category. And they're taking on a Dallas squad who's been tough against the 3 ball themselves. They're 7th in the league in 3-pointers allowed. Meanwhile, on the offensive end, the Mavs do a nice job getting to the stripe. Top 10 in shooting from the field as well. Maverick games went 8-2 to the over in their last 10. Clippers with overs recently against Cleveland, Brooklyn, and New York. I like Dallas +9, over 224. All right, let's dive into some MLB action. White Sox, Tigers, 1:10 p.m. East. Detroit's -250, total 7. Jack Flaherty for the Tigers, John Cannon for Chicago. Now, Cannon had a solid 5 innings of work in his season debut. No runs over 4 hits, handful of strikeouts. I do think the Sox can keep this one close. Not really expecting an offensive affair in this one. This one should stay close. I'm thinking of like a 3-2 game here. Give me the White Sox +1.5, under 7. Next game, Cardinals, Red Sox, 2:10 Eastern first pitch. Boston's -140, totals 9. Walker Buehler for the Bo Sox, Eric Fetty for St. Louis. And Fetty definitely had a solid season debut. Just 1 run over 2 hits through 6 innings of work. Of course, this Cardinal lineup's had little problems getting base runners this year. Lars Nootbaar with double-digit hits on the year already. Nolan Arenado with a handful of RBI. And they're going to face Walker Buehler, who had a bit of a tough season debut. 4 runs over 7 hits through just 4 1/3. Buehler did record the loss in that start, and he officially has an ERA of 8.31 at the moment. Now, total-wise, bunch of overs already for this St. Louis team. I like the Cardinals +120, over 9. Next matchup, Blue Jays, Mets, 3:10 p.m. East. The Mets are -140, total 7.5. Tyler McGill for New York, Kevin Gausman for Toronto. Gausman's 1-0 to start the year with an ERA of 3 flat. He allowed just a pair of earned runs through 6 innings of work. Currently has a whip of .66. I like the Blue Jays +120, under 7.5. Next game, Yankees, Pirates, 4:12 p.m. East. New York's -155 on the road, total 7.5. Max Fried for the Yanks, Mitch Keller for Pittsburgh. Now, the Buccos have struggled a bit at the plate. Not a ton of production out of their sluggers. And they're taking on a powerful Yankee lineup who swept the Brewers to start the year. Definitely scored a lot of runs early in the season already. Volpe and Judge have a handful of homers apiece. Aaron Judge with double-digit RBI already. And Jazz Chisholm, he has a handful of hits and runs scored. I like the Yankees minus $1.55, over 7.5. Next contest, Mariners, Giants, 435 East. San Francisco's $1.35, total 7.5. Justin Verlander for the Giants, Luis Castillo for Seattle. Castillo's 1-1 on the year, couple of homers given up. And at the plate, the M's have certainly had a tough time scoring runs. And they got to face Justin Verlander, who looked good in spring and definitely looked good in his season debut. Just 2 runs allowed through 5 innings, handful of strikeouts. Now, total-wise, Seattle's seen a handful of unders cash already this year. I like San Francisco minus $1.35, under 7.5. All right, next matchup should be a good weekend series here. Dodgers, Phillies, 645 East. The Dodgers are minus $1.45, totals 8. Yoshi Yamamoto for Los Angeles, Jesus Luzardo for Philadelphia. Now, obviously, both teams with plenty of sluggers who can get the job done at the plate, and they're already doing so this year. Philadelphia's Kyle Schwarber, a handful of homers already. Edmundo Sosa, hotter than a pistol at the plate right now. Meanwhile, for the Dodgers on the other side, Tommy Edmonds got a handful of homers himself. Shohei Ohtani, double-digit runs and hits already. Should be a fun one in South Philly. Should be a fun weekend seeing 2 really good teams. A lot of star power. If you're in the Philly area, might want to think about getting to one of those games. Should be a good series. I like the over 8 runs. Next matchup, some NL East action. Marlins, Braves, 715 East. Atlanta's minus 220, totals 8. Spencer Schwellenbach for Atlanta, Max Meyer for Miami. And I'll tell you what, Meyer had a nice start to the year, just 1 earned run through 5 2/3 innings. Miami did take 3 of 4 from Pittsburgh in their opening series this year, and they scored a handful of runs against the Mets as well. And they're facing a struggling Atlanta lineup who's been shut out twice already, held to just 1 run a couple of times as well. The Braves also saw a bunch of unders in those games. Miami with several unders themselves. I like the Marlins plus 1.5, under 8. Next contest, Rays, Rangers, 805 East. Texas is minus $1.25, totals 8.5. Tyler Mahle for the Rangers, Zach Littell for Tampa Bay. Now, Littell allowed just 1 run over 4 hits in his season debut, 7 strikeouts through 6 innings of work. The Rays also have a handful of wins to start the year, a handful of guys who are hitting well. They're facing a Texas squad who's off to a bit of a hot start themselves, but it's really not particularly thanks to the bats. They've struggled moving runners around, and they also have Tyler Mahle on the bump, who was pulled very early in his season debut. 4 walks for Mahle and a couple of hits allowed through just 1 2/3 innings of work. Now, total-wise, the Rangers saw unders in almost all of their games thus far. Same goes for Tampa Bay as well. Plenty of unders between both of these ball clubs. I like Tampa Bay plus 105, under 8.5. All right, next contest, Reds, Brewers, 8:10 p.m. East. Milwaukee's minus $1.20, totals 8. Looks like a possible bullpen day for the Brewers. Nick Martinez on the bump for the Reds. Now, Martinez struck out a handful of batters despite a shaky season debut. But listen, this Cincy pitching staff as a whole, they've really kept their opponents in check, kept these guys in games this year, despite their current record. And they're facing a Milwaukee squad who's struggling at the dish a bit themselves. Gave up an assload of runs to the Yankees in their opening series. I like Cincinnati plus $1, under 8. And with that, folks, we're going to jump into our next and final breakdown for the video. Guardians, Angels, 938 East. Cleveland's a $1.20, total 7.5. Gavin Williams for the Guardians. Jose Soriano for Los Angeles. Now, Soriano threw 7 innings of scoreless ball in his season debut. No runs over 2 hits and a .57 whip. The Angels come into the game with a handful of team wins to start the year. And they're facing a Cleveland squad who's really struggled at the plate this season. Several games for them falling under the total. I like the Angels plus $1 under 8. And with that, folks, we're going to jump into our quick pick recap. I like the Hornets plus 10.5 over 219. Pacers minus 15.5 over 235 and a hook. I'm 7-0. My last 7 chairman plays on my premium page. Detroit minus 11 under 228. Celtics minus 15 under 227.5. Thunder minus 6.5 under 232. Cavaliers minus 14 over 241. I like the over 240 in that Blazers-Bulls matchup. Give me the over 234.5 in that Warriors-Nuggets game. Lakers minus 13 over 219. Dallas plus 9 over 224. Baseball, White Sox plus 1.5 under 7. Cardinals plus $1.20 over 9. Blue Jays plus $1.20 under 7.5. Yankees minus $1.55 over 7.5 runs. Giants minus 135 under 7.5. I like the over 8 in that Dodgers-Phillies matchup. Miami plus 1.5 under 8 runs. Tampa Bay plus 105 under 8.5. Reds plus $1 under 8. Give me the Angels plus $1 under 8 runs. And with that, folks, that's going to do it for me. Don't forget to check me out on my premium page. And if you do end up getting a membership here today on my premium site, just a friendly reminder, you're going to get access to that membership every single day for the next 30 days. And as an added bonus, you're also going to get access to all of my cheaper memberships during that time frame absolutely free. They're going to be included with your membership. That's why I always tell folks that Gold Club package, it's a full access, all-inclusive membership. Gives you access to every single premium selection of mine, every single package, every single day for the next 30 days. But most importantly, folks, gotta thank you for joining me right here on the free video. Really hope you enjoyed all this great free content, all this great free information. With that said, folks, happy Friday to you. Best of luck to you. And I look forward to seeing you later on today on my premium page.